federal monitor's earnings keep going up while employee morale keeps going down, and I've lost my patience.
From his first day as Maricopa County Board Chairman almost a year ago, Thomas Galvin targeted a federal judge's order 12 years ago that installed a court monitor to oversee reforms in the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. The order was a response to unconstitutional racial profiling under former Sheriff Joe Arpaio. This past week, lawyers for the county declared mission accomplished and asked a federal judge to remove that order. County Board Chairman Thomas Galvin is wrapping up an eventful year as chair from start to finish. Welcome back to Square Up.
Good morning. Happy holidays.
Same to you. The county lawyers say mission accomplished. Where's the evidence that racial profiling has been put to rest, is eradicated in the sheriff's office?
Well, absolutely. So first of all, it's not part of the policies or practices of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Secondly, we have had now 4 sheriffs under this federal oversight. The original sheriff, who we all know by name, who instigated this lawsuit, has been out of office for more than 8 years. And I, as County Supervisor Bram, have worked with 3 different sheriffs of 2 political parties. And each of these 3 sheriffs have done everything they could to make sure that they're not breaking the law and they're not violating anyone's constitutional rights. And so in the court filing that we made is that we showed the judge there's been a change of circumstances. And that's a Supreme Court precedent, which shows that you can go back and get relief from the judgments. It's not just one judgment that we have seen from this court case, it's 4. And what I have seen is mission creep, including a court-appointed monitor who makes $2 million a year and has no incentive to tell the judge that the sheriff's office is respecting the rights of our citizens.
Now, this goes before Judge Murray Snow, who's presided over this case for more than a decade, I think almost 15 years. Is he the one who ultimately decides whether you can be removed?
He will decide at this level, but we have put together a really good court filing. We have hired a very high-powered law firm, Greenberg Traurig, which are constitutional law experts who understand how the Constitution works under federalism. As a county supervisor, I'm accountable to the voters. My colleagues were accountable to the voters. We set the budget for the sheriff's office. The sheriff himself is accountable to the voters, and we have seen over 3 different election cycles people who have run for office of sheriff telling the voters how they would run the office. They can't do it right now because of federal oversight, but because of this really good legal filing, we're showing the judge mission accomplished in terms of it's been a success. Everything that the judge has asked for, the sheriff's office has done.
You've argued that the court order has become a huge financial burden, yet taxpayers don't really know how much of a financial burden. There are conflicting claims. Counties put out estimates of $350 million. An independent audit found MCSO spent about $60 million on non-essential items like golf carts and vehicles.
Okay, so
are taxpayers right in thinking that the Melendres case became a cookie jar?
No.
For MCSO?
No, and first of all, I want to take issue with the word independent audit. First of all, the independent audit is the state's auditor general reviews the county budget every single year. These are CPAs. These are really highly trained professionals. The county itself has a budget office that has to make sure that everything is accounted for. When people say independent audit, I take issue with that because the monitor, his name is Robert Warshaw from Rochester, New York, picked a buddy of his from Rochester, New York to issue this so-called audit to say that the monitor is not taking as much money from the county as he is. We have disputed the findings of this so-called audit. It's almost like what the cyber ninjas were to elections 4 years ago, and that audit is not a real audit. The guy who issued that report is not even a CPA.
You're saying it's a fake audit?
I do not put any credence to that audit, and I stand by what the state auditor general has found and what the county budget office has done, and this has cost $350 million. Also, you cannot dispute the amount of years that has been Bram. We know this. It's been 15 years.
The years we know.
So,
yes,
yeah, regardless, the years has been ridiculous.
The ACLU of Arizona played a significant role with the plaintiffs in the Melendres case. Here's what the executive director, Victoria Lopez, said about your motion to be released from the court order. Maricopa County's move to prematurely halt reforms in the Melendres case ignores the enduring harm Latino residents have experienced at the hands of MCSO. This case is about ensuring meaningful, lasting reform, not settling for temporary fixes. Ending oversight now jeopardizes the progress made thus far. Your response?
That's a ridiculous, disingenuous statement.
Because?
There's nothing temporary about it. The county Sheriff's Office has done everything they can to reverse, to eliminate, to get rid of all the problematic programs that were occurring as the basis for the lawsuit. Also, secondly, I happen to be the first Hispanic chairman in Maricopa County history, so if there's anyone sensitive to this issue, it would be me. And in fact, 40% of the county board right now is composed of Hispanics. The ACLU makes money off of this lawsuit. You have to pay for it. I have to pay for it. ACLU has a financial incentive in this as well. And so I just find all of their arguments to be disingenuous. They want to keep saying that there's problems at the county's office. We haven't seen any civil rights violations coming from this sheriff's office.
Let's talk about that, because this comes at a time when you have a Trump administration that is not sensitive to racial profiling. It is highly unlikely they would ever pursue a racial profiling case. There is concern that sheriff's offices, even here in Arizona, are doing some of what Joe Arpaio did, looking for ticky-tacky violations on the highways and pulling people over. How can we be sure in this area, in this moment, that dropping this case might not lead to those kinds of violations again, given the climate we're in?
As we said in the court filing, if the sheriff's office violates the law, then they should be punished for it. And not just the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, any sheriff's office, any law enforcement agency around the country. The issue in the court filing was that everything the judge has asked for has been complied with and has been met with.
All right, let's move on. You had a lot on your plate this year. Always on your plate, the county board's highest profile task, running our elections. There's been friction between the board and county recorder Justin Heap ever since his election last year. The two sides need to work together on elections, yet you're suing each other. There was a kind of a bitter fallout even after the jurisdictional elections last November. Will there be a peace treaty before the midterms?
Well, we had an agreement in principle with Justin Heap back in April. We had a handshake agreement where we met with him personally. I was at that meeting. He disappeared for 5 weeks, then he turned around and sued us. The only reason why we countersued is because we wanted this question to be resolved by the judge over who has determination of what in election duties. The state legislature, in their infinite wisdom, created a system in which election duties are bifurcated between the Board of Supervisors and the recorder. However, the Board of Supervisors, we're a professional board. We will act with the recorder, Justin Heap, on a professional basis. He needs to stop playing political games. He needs to stop frivolous lawsuits. He needs to pay attention to his own office. There was a story this week that he didn't even show up at his office when he had a major scandal earlier this year, one of several that he's had. So I encourage him to focus on his job, focus on his office, and to stop picking fights with the board.
Okay, you've been saying that for almost a year now.
Yep.
And not to put you down, but you've been saying it for almost a year now. It hasn't happened. Do you trust Justin Heap to faithfully carry out his duties in November?
Justin Heap needs to prove that he takes this process serious. He came in as an election denier. He has consistently thrown his own employees under the bus. He has pledged to us privately that he wants to work with us on a professional basis. We had several jurisdictional elections this year in which we operated on the same system with his office that we did with previous recorders, so I trust that he'll do that again because I know deep down he knows that's the right way to do it. He just has to stop playing games with politics in the court of public opinion and just focus on the job he was elected to do.
Okay. Something that didn't get a lot of attention. You folks, the county board, delved into data centers and housing this past year. Data centers are a hot topic, as you know. What kind of impact can the county have on where data centers are located?
Sure. Well, I want to talk about housing first because housing affordability was a major issue for me when I was campaigning, when I was meeting with constituents, meeting with voters. Younger people especially, it's harder for them to find a place to live, much harder to find the house of their dreams. And so what we did was we completely overhauled our zoning ordinance. We did a brand new zoning ordinance. We took out 50 pages. We took out 15,000 words. We streamlined everything. Unlike cities like New York where they feel like they have to throw money at a problem, we feel like government just needs to step out of the way. But for data centers, we're making sure that they are an important piece of our economy. Our future economy is going to need them in terms of technology and AI and the threats from China, but you have to put them in reasonable and appropriate places. We call balls and strikes, and so we've only put data centers in what we call industrial areas. The zoning districts are called IND2 and IND3. Very specific areas are where data centers should be.
And again, these are specifically county land.
On county land, correct. Yep.
All right. So much to talk about, but I have to end it there.
Okay.
Tom Galvin,
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Best wishes to you and your family for a happy and healthy new year.
You too. Thank you.
Take care.